Hello and welcome to Newsroom series today. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. Our focus is the northwest region of the country. But first, our main stories. A Federal Capital Territory High Court, presided over by Justice Sylvanus Orji, has extended the order restricting participants in the End Bad Governance protests against the federal government to the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Justice Orji extended the order following an application to that effect argued by Dr. Ogu James Onoja on behalf of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT. At the proceedings, all the 11 defendants were absent in court and were not represented by any legal practitioner, but the FCT minister, through his lawyer, drew the attention of the judge to a statement issued by one Damilare Adenola, where she threatens that the nationwide protest may be extended beyond the initial 10 days. The council argued that since they were not in court and no one knows their next plan of action, it will be in order to extend the order to ensure that the peace of the FCT is not unjustly disrupted. In a brief ruling, the judge granted the request and affirmed that the order of July 31st, 2024 remains valid and in force. The judge subsequently filed August 22nd, 2024 for hearing on the motion on notice. Now to our focus on the northwest region of the country. The Kaduna State government has removed the dusk to dawn curfew it imposed on Kano and Zaria metropolis following the outbreak of violence from the recent nationwide End Bad Governance protests. The curfew was relaxed on Tuesday this morning after an extensive review of the security situation in the two cities and the environs by the Kaduna State Security Council under the leadership of Governor Ubasani. In a statement, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs announced that the removal was from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew and it had been removed completely. With the development, the statement says law-abiding citizens are free to move and engage in legitimate activities in Kaduna and Zaria towns and the environs with no restriction. The Security Council also warned that processions or gatherings must be verified with the relevant agencies to avoid any breakdown of law and order and for the overall security of the general public. Suspected armed bandits have invaded Lambara and Tunga Bariki villages in Shagari local government area, displacing over 300 households and rustling over 3,000 cattle, camel, and other livestock in Sokoto state. Members of the communities attacked have all relocated to Shagari town, headquarters of the local government area, taking refuge in an Islamic school.
Governments, some banditry came to some villages and attacked, which we come to figure out that they went and robbed about 3,000 cows. So those people of those villages, they decided to leave their villages and come back to Shagari main town where they think or they feel they are safe. So that is why we went and visit them. And I also informed the NEMA, that is the Management Disaster Agency, for them to go and see by themselves. And that is the reason why we went there. So we want to use maybe this medium to call on the security agencies to come and restore peace in in Shagari local government, and those people that left their villages, left their houses to come and in Shagari local government to please make sure that restore peace for them to go back to their villages.
Emergency Management Agency to visit victims in their temporary displaced persons camps.
Through the information and the data gathered, we are able to know that it was a banditry attack which occurred on Monday in communities, and it displaces many people who has taken refuge in this local government secretariat. And it affected a lot of people. About more than 3,000 cattle and camels, sheep and goats were confiscated. Motorcycles, too, ponds, and the Bogle shops and houses. So like I said earlier, NEMA is not a compensation agency, but NEMA will provide certain relief items that will mitigate the impact of the disaster on the affected person.
The Kano State Police Command has transferred 76 suspects, including a foreign national, to the force headquarters in Abuja for investigation on charges of sedition. The suspects were reportedly arrested for flying Russian flags during the recent nationwide hunger protests, which turned violent in several parts of the north. Addressing the press on Monday, Kano State Commissioner of Police Salman Garba provided updates on the ongoing investigations and the arrest made in connection with the unrest.
I welcome you to this press conference today to provide a comprehensive update on the recent violent incident that resulted in wanton destruction and looting of government and public properties in Kano State, instigated by hoodlums under the guise of nationwide protest, as well as the achievement recorded by the Command in Crime Prevention, Management and Control from 1st October 1st to 10th August 2024. In line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbesokun, PhD, MPN, to all the commands and formation for ensuring professionalism and provisions of police service that is rule of law compliant. The Kano State Police Command has worked diligently and professionally towards addressing the aftermath of this event. And this effort resulted in the arrest of 873 suspects and recovery of large quantity of exhibits as follows. 1. Arrest and prosecutions of 600 suspects for various offenses, including criminal conspiracy, inciting disturbance, riots, theft, mischief, and arson. Despite the challenges posed by the recent protest, it is important to highlight some of the achievements recorded by the Police Command in Crime Prevention, Management, and Control within the period under review. The Command has remained resolute and steadfast in its duty to protect the lives and properties of all residents in Kano State.
Now, for more on the security situation in the Northwest region, in light of the recent events, we're joined on Newsroom series by counter-terrorism expert, Mr. Dixon Osage. Yeah, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Olumide. Good afternoon.
Now, what are your views about the recent security situation in the Northwest region of the country?
You see, the end bad governance protest, I possibly see it as an avenue for the government to have a feedback from the people, you understand? And some group of criminal elements try to capitalize on that bad governance and, try to, destabilize the critical infrastructure of the federal government and other properties of belonging to Nigerians. But going by what is happening in the Northwest, I think this security situation is disturbing because most of them are going off board. I've seen some national flags, international flags belonging to Russia and other belonging to Russia, flying around in the Northwest region, which basically I think is not acceptable. But I would possibly want to use this opportunity to appreciate the Nigerian police for a job well done, during the end bad governance, because the management of this incident is a very good one, and I see it as a professional conduct from them, applying this stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and stage 5. Use of force to ensure that Nigerians are not being killed unnecessarily. This is a very good one from them, because the end SARS protest was very disturbing because of the application of wrongful use of force. So I think the Nigerian government truly managed this situation very well in a professional manner.
Now, in the heels of that is the very disturbing recent killing of soldiers that happened in Sokoto State last weekend by bandits. How could this have happened?
Well, you see, it's so sad you train a soldier so hard, or you train an army officer so hard, or a military officer so hard, and you allow them to die cheap. You see, these deaths are preventable. Trust me, they are preventable. And that's why sometimes you don't need to, underestimate the enemy. When you underestimate the enemy, this is what you get. And sometimes before you project military personnel in the battlefield or in any given area, or you're trying to send them for any reconnaissance mission or strike force mission, you need to ascertain the territory of the enemy. You need to also understand that these guys, they are not jokers, because we fail to also understand that terrorists, they are well planned, they are well organized. I mean, they have international coverage. Some of them are well trained. And I would not say they are trained more than our military. Our military are capable any day, anytime, anywhere. But the issue is our military should also understand the area of force protection. Protect those that are meant to protect those. Don't allow them to train hard and die so cheap. Now we having our officers and men being killed like chicken. It's not acceptable. And I think the military command, should start looking at, applying reconnaissance measures before you send in troops to any risk environment. Ascertain the threat metrics of that environment. Don't just put them in a truck and say, hey, enemy suspected position, go there and decimate these guys. No. First of all, carry out area surveillance within that environment. Ensure you have the capability and capacity to decimate those criminal elements so that they don't give you surprise or they don't surprise your men or lay an ambush for them. But listen, ambush is one of the most dangerous phases of war because you can't tell where these guys are anytime, any day, anywhere. But you will be able to, escape ambush if you truly have a successful or have an effective surveillance mission or area surveillance mission to ascertain the area of the territory of the enemy. Then you know their numbers, you know their strength, then you go in and decimate them.
Indeed, it's one thing and a very tragic thing as well, for civilians to lose their lives from the attacks of bandits. But there's an added dimension of tragedy, I guess, when it's the security forces who are protecting the civilians who get the short end of the stick. There is some reticence on or being mute on the part of the army about this. We've not heard so much about the reasons and the dimension of what happened. Is this the right thing to do?
Well, you see, we need to also know that in any given environment or in a situation like this, there must be casualty from either side, and some persons might be unlucky to pay the price or to pay the supreme price. The military are not meant to talk too much. Sometimes they do what they're supposed to do. They carry out their duties in a professional manner. They are not supposed to come to the media and start telling the media this is what we've done or this is what we've not done. I have been able to, carry out 1 or 2 training within the military formations, and I've seen that the Nigerian military are doing a lot in the area of social responsibility. If you go to part of the northeast, northwest, you see a lot that the military are doing, and I've advised the general in charge of corporate social responsibility that you need to start putting all this good deed of the Nigerian military on social media so that people will see and understand what the military are doing in exception of engaging these criminal elements or the terrorists. So for me, I think we need to support them and also encourage them. But they must remember that they must protect our soldiers, they must protect our officers, because you must not allow them to die so cheaply, like I rightly said. Ensure they are given the proper, protective equipment, because in any given country, like I was watching a movie, a live video when the Israeli forces went to rescue some of their citizens within the Hamas territorials. Then I was so impressed about the force protection, how they carry out that operation. So the military should sit down, relax, because they've been so engaged from the east, west, south, and north, driven by the multi-dimensional security threats bedeviling our country. So what they should start looking at is to come back home, relax, have an effective plan, and ensure that they protect us from the east, west, south, and north, and do not allow their officers and men die cheaply from the hands of criminals. What do you think
is the global standard for counter-terrorism, given the fact now that the military has not been forthcoming about the information concerning this incident?
Well, from the global perspective, counter-terrorism is not a military perspective. You understand? It's both military-centric and population-centric. But here in our own climate, we just think it's all about the military. If it's all about the military, I think we're going to live with terrorism till eternity. We have the political formation, the political will, the people-centric approach as well, because the military needs information from you and I to ensure that they take out this criminal element. They need cooperation from the society to ensure that they take out this criminal element. They have the capability, they have the capacity to do this. But sometimes I think from the area of intelligence gathering, they're lacking in that area because some 1 or 2 bad criminal elements within the forces maybe compromising intelligence And I think what this military should start doing is that they should start looking at fetching out most of these bad elements that have infiltrated the security forces, maybe from the military, the police, and other security agencies, because we have a country to protect. And for us to protect this great country, we need people that are ready to serve this country and die for this country in a professional manner. So I think the military should go back to the drawing board and reassess their operational planning, also reassess their tactical planning as well, because from the tactical perspective, we've seen sometimes how our military command deploy their soldiers and officers in the battlefield for 4 years, 5 years, 3 years. That's an operational error. Don't leave a soldier in the battlefield more than 9 months, because if you don't know when you are going back home, I tell you, when the enemy firepower comes or attack comes, you want to withdraw because you don't know when you're going back home. So they should reassess their tactical operation and tactical planning, then they will succeed in this given area of counterinsurgency.
Indeed. What country doesn't want their military to succeed? Our condolences, our sympathy also to the families of those soldiers that lost their lives, because we know that there are people that are left behind when their husbands and their fathers were serving in the line of duty for the fatherland. Thank you so much.
Thank you. They are the true heroes.
Indeed. Mr. Dixon Osage, counter-terrorism expert on Newsroom series. Governor Ubasani of Kaduna State has flagged off the distribution of 500 trucks of fertilizers amounting to 16,000, that is 15,000, metric tons, free to smallholder farmers across the 23 local government areas of the state, aimed at empowering farmers to achieve food security and economic growth in the state. Speaking at the distribution ceremony, Governor Sani says the distribution of 500 trucks of fertilizers is a clear demonstration of his administration's commitment to re-energizing the agricultural sector.
Kaduna in northwest Nigeria is indeed an agrarian state with vast arable land, making it suitable for farming and other agricultural activities. With the peak of the raining season in place, the state government has procured a total of 500 trucks of fertilizer amounting to 15,000 metric tons for free distribution to smallholder farmers across the state, all geared towards empowering them to achieve food security and economic growth. Murtala Mohammed Square in Kaduna State Capital is filled to capacity with farmers drawn from across the 23 local government areas, as well as top government officials and senior citizens for the official flag-off of the free fertilizer distribution.
The flag-off of this fertilizer distribution is a reflection of the governor's commitment to support those who produce the bulk of the food we eat. These are the smallholder farmers, the real farmers. It is a demonstration of his commitment to achieving food security and addressing hunger.
In his remarks, Governor Ubasani says the distribution of 15 metric tons of fertilizer to smallholder farmers is a clear demonstration of his administration's commitment to reposition the agricultural sector and make farming a profitable venture.
Today marks a significant milestone in our journey toward the revitalization of the agricultural sector and ensuring food security in Kaduna State. This initiative clearly demonstrates our steadfast commitment to empowering our farmers and re-energizing our agricultural sector. Agriculture is not only the backbone of our state economy, but also a vital contributor to our overall growth and development.
Governor Sani also highlights some of his administration's interventions in addressing significant setbacks in the agricultural sector to avert post-harvest losses, and therefore urges the farmers to make good use of the fertilizer for better outcome.
Our Tallafin Noma initiative, a part of our broader palliative program, targeted 42,000 smallholder farmers and cooperatives across the 23 local governments. We have distributed quality seeds, agrochemicals, fertilizers, power tillers, vegetable grinders, knapsack sprayers with personal protective equipment. This support aims to help farmers recover and enhance their productivity.
Some of the dignitaries and beneficiaries at the event described this free fertilizer distribution as unprecedented in the history of the state.
Agriculture all over the world is heavily subsidized in order not to keep the farmers in business, but to ensure food security. As the saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So what we're here present to launch is a major first step forward.
Provision of 500 trucks of fertilizer free to 120,000 farmers is not a small job. We thank you for that, and we pray that the good Lord will continue to bless you.
Defying the rains, Governor Sani hands over the bags of fertilizer to the beneficiaries, accompanied by the Emir of Zazzau and other dignitaries. Since inception, the administration of Governor Uba Sani has made remarkable progress in enhancing food security through various agricultural initiatives, and the distribution of 15,000 metric tons of free fertilizer to farmers therefore underscores the governor's commitment towards revitalizing the sector, which accounts for 42.81% of Kaduna State GDP.
And in a bid to alleviate the sufferings of less privileged women in Kebbi State, the wife of the Kebbi State Governor, Hajia Zainab Nasir Idris, has flagged off the distribution of food palliatives to 2,100 beneficiaries across the state. The initiative, supported by the Renewed Hope Initiative of the wife of the president, was launched in Benin, Kebbi, the state capital.
The launch of food palliatives for less privileged women marks a significant effort by the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in collaboration with the wife of the Kebbi State Governor, Zainab Nasir Idris. This initiative aims to alleviate hardship among vulnerable women in Kebbi State. At the flag-off ceremony, Hajia Zainab Nasir Idris announces that 100 women from each of the 21 local government areas in the state will benefit from the food aid. She expresses her gratitude to Senator Oluremi Tinubu for her unwavering support and asked beneficiaries to make good use of the assistance provided.
Alhamdulillah, kamar da kuka ga wannan abinci, matar shugaban ƙasa Senator Oluremi Tinubu ta aiko abinci domin a raba ma marasa ƙarfi da kuma 'yan uwanmu masu lalura ta musamman. Ta aiko mana buhun shinkafa masu 25 kg guda 1,200. Kamar yadda kuka san mai girma gona yana iya kan kokari don ba a shigowa gidan gona a hita haka nan. Shi ma ya ba mu abinci wanda za mu haɗa da shi don muna da local government 21 a jihar Kebbi. Sai muka ƙara buhuwa ƙwara 900 wanda za su ba da 2,100 wanda insha Allah za a raba shi.
The distribution includes 1,200 bags of 25 kg rice from the wife of the president and 900 bags from the state government. The beneficiaries comprise vulnerable women, the Widows Association of Nigeria Army and Police, and individuals with special needs. The special advisor to the Kebbi State Governor on Women Affairs, Halima Udu, highlights the federal government's commitment to the people's needs.
People who get this kind of palliatives should have the heart to share, like Her Excellency has the heart to give. The program, like we know, is an initiative for our First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu. But like my Commissioner of Information has informed us, and we all know, whenever it comes to Kebbi State, we don't stop at sharing what they bring to us. Our governor and his wife will always add up something that will make it go around to a lot of people.
Several beneficiaries share their gratitude for the support.
I'm very happy. I'm overwhelmed. I really lack words to say, but we are really grateful. And my sincere prayer today is that God will continue to upload.
A capacity building workshop has been conducted for the maiden board of the Katsina State Fiscal Responsibility Commission to understand their role responsibilities, and the set agenda for them to achieve their objectives in the coming months. The training held in the state capital, organized by the Youth Participation in Progressive Development in partnership with the State Fiscal Responsibility Commission and the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room.
As we are all aware, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission in Kaduna State have just recently been inaugurated by His Excellency, the Executive Governor. The law has been there since 2007, and because the board has just been set up, we think it is important that we support this board by organizing a retreat so that they can be able to get to understand the roles and to make population life and also ensure the fiscal responsibility of Kaduna State. So we actually organize this in order to support them, to learn their roles, and also to set up an agenda to what they really want to do, able to achieve in the upcoming days. So that's the reason actually organizing this on behalf of the Kaduna State Fiscal Responsibility.
That's it on Newsroom series today. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Mukoli.